Kuroki guesses correctly, goes to his left, will make it out no problem.
Matamba Man, thanks to taking that mid tower, now has an Orchid. Has also taken the top net worth slot.
Oh, he's actually quite farmed now. This is going to be a really nice counter to the Ember Spirit, who is not even close to a defensive item.
A very fast Battle Fury, and look at him, just an all physical damage build now. Thinking about
Roshan?
Deso next.
Yeah, they're thinking about Roshing, and they are, in fact, in the pit. And I don't know if Vici knows about this at all.
It doesn't seem like it, because they have a haste rune on this Ember Spirit. If he ran into that pit, I think he could single-handedly defend.
But no scan or anything like that, and I mean, Vici, they might think that there's a smoke happening, and now some pings are happening. They are going to scan successfully, but Roshan already at 2,000 HP.
Burrow strike out, follow up Ice Path, just enough to force Paparazzi out of this mid.
That there's no intention to kill at all, it's just to scare. More successful in this game. Like, just cleaner play overall. No one's getting caught that badly. Last game, it just felt like it was a feeding frenzy.
The double global strat is going to be able to catch GH here. Fade sent his Treants down to bottom lane, and then teleported himself. Yang list.
Still, with an Orchid on Matamba Man, will go unchallenged for quite some time. I don't think the Ember Spirit, once he noticed...
Same thing. BKB is up next for Matamba Man. Bit of split pushing as Vici Gaming's game has slowed down a lot. When it comes to, they didn't defend towers as much. They gave up Roshan as well. Seems a bit uncharacteristic to me anyway.
Fade places a ward where the tier 1 tower used to be. As a stun comes out, it's just the illusion. Liquid got excited there for a second, thought they found somebody. But Vici being very careful around the Aegis of Liquid.
No, he just continues to go for the Deso. His Spawn out, Mythal Hammer, as well as the Orb. We got our smoke up now from Vici Gaming. A 4-man smoke. The Furion can show himself top lane and still join his team. It looks like they're going to get the pick off on Kuro here. Vici Gaming having no qualms about smoking up and just getting whatever pick off presents itself. But now the Furion runs into mind control. Seems like both of them were a little surprised by that. As Fade certainly doesn't have anything. He's only got a Spirit Vessel. That's it. They're going to be able to jump it in mid lane and find a big pick off on the Sniper. That is one of the two cores that can defend these towers. The other one being that Ember Spirit, who's currently residing in bottom lane.
Really nice aggressive move there. Ori stood absolutely no chance as Miracle just continues to hunt. I think they don't want to get into a high ground situation against a bad Ember Sniper with the cores that they have. I mean, the Enigma is going to be really good in this game because they don't have the easiest way to cancel them out. But everybody else, I think on the side of Vici, wants to play this out late. Like, they'll be really happy having the cores that they have because we know that Broodmother falls off. We know that Monkey King eventually will have a hard time once his BKB charges get low.
Yeah, how are you going to stop this BKB Enigma? Mind Control almost has it here. Yang spots him for a moment. Blink for Blink is going to be able to catch up to Mind Control here. Gets the lasso. Now he's going to be taking a lot of damage from the Eidolon. There's also the Centaur stun as well. Miracle's going to be able to get the Boundless Strike. DY tries to come in. Stuns up the Centaur. GH will follow up though. Has the Burrow Strike.
He's got a haste rune too.
The pick off, but it's going to be Yang who dies, and now potentially DY as well as he tries to run up to the high ground, gets the stun onto the Sand King, but 3 seconds for the Blink Dagger. Miracle's here as well, gets the Jingu stacks. A double kill for the Monkey King as Liquid just start marching down the lanes. They're going to head towards mid where this Battle Fury can do a lot to defend. Immediately, Matamba Man, as he takes too much damage, pops his lifesteal, gets back up to full. The rest of his team will join him on this hunt for the tier 2 tower.
That was very well done by Miracle. He connected so quickly to Mind Control, didn't just give up on his friend. And the Aegis is going to fade before they get some sort of high ground attempt going, but they've used it just to build their net worth lead, get some towers out of the way. They might even get this tier 2 tower up at top. This removes all but one tier 2 tower that Vici have to play with And just very well done by Liquid. Much more controlled game than we saw in game number 1.
And now this is looking like the Broodmother game that the panel were expecting, where the Broodmother starts taking over a bit. It was delayed because of a rough laning phase.
And she could also just die right now.
And that's true.
She doesn't have BKB.
No
He
ages
just has
now.
1 second. It's just gone right now.
He
Yang's
doesn't have
found him.
BKB, and he's not going to be able to get off the pipe fast enough. He's just going to get the disables. They're going to burst him down so quickly. Spoke too soon, it seems, as now Matumba Man is dead for a full minute. Liquid are going to reside on this high ground, though, not retreating just yet.
They're willing to fight 4-on-5, I guess. Without the Bat Rider grip, is Shrapnel's laid out. Miracle in a very good position, provided he doesn't get caught in those trees. He would instantly make the fight a 4-on-4 if one of the supports just run into him.
DY trying to get vision up into this high ground. Miracle will drop down, daring to get a little bit more aggressive. You could see the Bat Rider. I think he had a good idea of where the Monkey King was. Like, that's where he would hide and try to go for breaking down the trees with a fast blink play.
A lot of pings right now. It looks like tier 2 tower was just taken passively. Yeah. Okay, with the treants. Nobody from Liquid went back to defend.
Yeah, they didn't want to give up their aggressive positioning, especially with the bounty runes coming up.
Yeah, now they 2 seconds ago, I mean, they had a 5k gold lead. And with the pickoff on Matumba Man and the tier 2 tower, all of a sudden it's decreased quite a bit. The bounty runes now being picked up. Relatively even.
Oh, this is just a casual buckler, it seems.
He had the Crimson Guard queued up first. But I think because of the game state, he decided to change things up as DY most likely dead here. In fact, he certainly is.
Oh, the Orchid onto Paparazzi. It's going to wear out, though. Will be able to get the Sleight of Fist and gets the control onto the Broodmother. Ori was here, but they don't feel strong enough to take the damage onto Matumba Man because that lifesteal on the creep wave can help sustain him.
Yeah, Yang has come in, though. And it is indeed going to be a BKB by Paparazzi. I think he just assumes with the amount of armor he has in stats that if the Brood catches him solo, he's still going to live.
Yeah.
Which is a bit of a greedier, hard call to make, but...
But it seems to have worked. He hasn't died to that Broodmother solo kill yet.
Nope, and he's still top net worth in the game. We're starting to get 4 staffs out on the side of Vici too, to be able to disengage from these 2 melee cores. And Liquid, I think, are sort of on a timer because of this. Like, they have multiple ways to disengage on the side of Vici. And I think that mobile cores just win out in Dota. Like, Ember, I think, will eventually be able to just win this game by himself. The X factor, of course, is the Enigma, where they don't have the easiest ways to cancel the black hole. I could very easily see Mind Control win this game too. But if I'm Liquid, I'd still want to play a little bit faster.
Maybe be trying to do that as I see the courier flying out. It's probably going to be some sort of... maybe not. They TP up to top lane.
That's another big power spike, the BKB on the Monkey King.
Oh, yeah.
It now adds 3 BKB targets. I think all 3 cores of Liquid have BKB.
Yeah, now I was about to say, now we're getting some real spider gold. 500 gold plus for the End Spirit over the course of this game.
Is that a lot?
It's not shabby.
Much. Oh, the Eidolons, though.
Yeah, the Eidolons.
24 Eidolons lead to like half the gold.
Yeah, that's I mean, 1,000 of his gold, of his 15K net worth, is just purely from this extra bit being spawned by Liquid. Oh, what a pickoff this would be if they could actually find it, but they're going to smoke in the wrong direction here. I'm not sure what that positioning was from Ori. It just seemed like he was kind of AFK, but...
Paparazzi going to go for the TP out, and it's
too late.
Yep.
The smoke pops and GH just dives into the trees here. Little do they know, like, oh, hey, there's a lion. Not really what they wanted out of this for sure.
Yeah, DY is incredibly dead. I think Paparazzi just coincidentally TP'd out.
I think so too.
Judging by how DY just ran in there.
I mean, a better pickoff would lead to a guaranteed Roshan, but with the double damage
root
now being taken away, nice Dual Scepter going to be able to get away before GH can Burrow Strike.
Still, they found the angle now.
They found the sniper. BKB is going to be activated here. They're trying to finish him up. The lasso goes down. That's where Matumba Man's going to take up the chase and try and finish off this damage dealer. He's running out of webs, or he's trying to juke him out right now. He'll stay on top of this sniper and finish him off. But at the same time, mind control gets a little bit low. Paparazzi wasn't quite able to finish anybody up on the side of Liquid. They're going to play around this shrine. They have the buyback coming out from the sniper, and it looks like he may have overextended. But here comes the epicenter. GH not finding the bro strike, though. Needs to be able to get to the back line. Paparazzi and Ori playing away from Miracle, does have the Jingu stacks, need to be able to swing on somebody, has the lifesteal, but he's dropping a little bit low. Lion is bought back as well. Fade's trying to get away, but Kuro stays on top of him, giving up his life potentially to be able to ensure this kill, but Fade stays alive. They barely save him just in time. Team Liquid, they lose their captain, and they get out. They say, we forced a lot of buybacks. That was well worth it for us.
And that's why Vici, they're going to continue to try to push the issue. Fade instantly TPs back. They want to continue to play around this Roche Pit area, as Ori and DY did buy back for that, so the overall net worth swing does still go in favor of Liquid. But Roshan, the bigger objective, as Vici, they're pinging. They still have Black Hole on the side of Liquid.
They use these buybacks. They cannot afford to give up Roshan like this. Vici Gaming. They also can't take Roshan themselves, so they're at a bit of a stalemate until Liquid.
They're just going to wait for Jakiro to come back and take the fight again.
Yeah.
They still have Black Hole.
Fade does have a force down. He'll be okay. Love the choice of multiple force snaps here from Vici Gaming. They got to get away from the Broodmother, out of the Wukong's command as often as possible. But again, Liquid, they're the ones who can really determine when the fight happens here. They're going to jump in. Burrow strike out into the side.
Watch for mind control.
But Tumbleman trying to finish him off. Mind control. BKB activated. He's just going to use the Black Hole. Ensure the Ember Spirit kill because they know he doesn't have.
They found Ori.
Now they found Ori as well. Ori in the back line is going to get Burrow struck up. He's dead. Now Miracle chases down Yang. This is all three cores of Vici Gaming just dying like this. Bad Rider does manage to juke it out for a moment, blinks away, tries to TP out. He'll be okay as Miracle can't find the kill fast enough. But the two important kills in the Sniper and the Ember Spirit, neither one has buyback.
I love Liquid right now because they just dared Vici to come into the Roshan pit, and they knew that Mind Control still had BKB ulti, and they played around that fact.
Yeah.
They knew that there was no Bat Rider grip. They knew that Mind Control had BKB ulti. They finally went for some sort of aggressive play in this series, and it pays off big time. And Ori has no way to protect himself right now from the two cores of Liquid. Liquid still have to be careful because the sniper can still repel them. He's dead for 30, but their high ground defense on the side of Vici is still scary. But big win overall for Liquid so far.
16-17, 7,000 net worth lead, and now we're going to find an extra kill as Yang is going to be saved by the force staff coming out from Fade, and they do manage to get a decent stun on Matumba Man. Miracle making sure they don't have an opportunity to go on his mid laner, threatening the Wukong's command, and Vici Gaming can't really fight into that, especially without their Sniper and Ember Spirit, who are just about to come up, but just a bit too late to be able to save the melee barracks. The Dual Scepter immediately stopping that Bat Rider from being able to pull Matumba Man to his death. The Matumba Man bugs.
He's full HP.
He stays alive. Miracle. He fights him back with the BKB, but Ori's on his way. He needs to be able to jump away into the trees, and he does so before the sleight of fist damage comes out.
That was that cheese timing, right?
Beautiful cheese, just in time, and that's, I think, in large part, the Yule Scepter. If he'd been pulled back a little bit closer to Vici Gaming, then Matumba Man dies before he can get off that heal.
And that felt instantaneous from GH as a response.
So good. Team Liquid. They continue to be aggressive. Oh, I really love this.
They still have Aegis.
They know that Vici Gaming is just one fight away from losing this game with no buyback on the Sniper right now. And the Ember Spirit, he wasn't able to buy back last time because of gold. And it's not like he's had a whole lot of time to farm here as Liquid just keep on pushing the pace against them.
And Liquid have to learn from the mistakes of VP, as we see right here.
The instant Yule Scepter coming out.
How low did he get?
And
100?
he got so low, about 120 HP. I mean, even if he's just pulled into tier 4 tower range at that point.
Didn't they have Finger? I felt like they had Finger plus Aether Lens. That probably was a kill.
Yeah.
Maybe they just got a little bit greedy here as Kuro might just get caught out.
Pick off with the Wrath of Nature into Yang, being able to pull him in with the lasso. Where's the Wrath of Nature damage? It actually got soaked up by too many creeps. They don't get it, and that means Kuro
they might not get this kill anymore.
The Ice Path comes out. Macropire as well. GH with the Epicenter, not going to be able to catch up to Yang. Yang flies away to the trees, but eventually the Firefly wears out. Yule Scepter going to be caught in damage, unable to blink away. trying to go for the 5 position, ends up giving away their 3. Not exactly what Vici Gaming was looking for.
Not at all. I think they thought that the Wrath of Nature was going to come in at any moment. Just those 2 heroes alone, not quite enough to kill the captain, as 2 minutes still remain, and this is a long 2 minutes. This should lead to the tier 2, and potentially even a high ground attempt with the Bat Rider still dead for 30. At least the tier 2 will be completely uncontested. Matama Man going for that Nullifier, going for his own mini Doom build. Or he'll have the Orchid and the Nullifier to be able to go on either the Ember Spirit or the Sniper.
And they're so dependent on those 4 staffs that just being able to save one of them. Oh, what an opportunity here as they found the Ember Spirit with the Burrow Strike, follow us Ice Path. They have the Malphus as well, and Ember Spirit's not able to jump away in time. He does have buyback, but Liquid, they're certainly going to force it out of him.
And still a minute and a half on this Aegis from Miracle. Just a much cleaner team game from Liquid.
Miracle hopping through the trees here. He's got to be careful, though. He jumps too close to the Bat Rider. He's going to cut down the tree. That's an opportunity. Or he immediately pops the BKB and starts laying damage into Miracle as fast as possible. Can they finish him up in time, though? The Balance Strike with the lifesteal is able to give him a big boost of HP, and he will be able to back up. He's not losing that Aegis just yet.
Good discipline is Liquid. They pop the pipe. They get everybody out. They didn't have to lose anybody for that. That was the big buyback on a Paparazzi.
And they can go ahead and grab that Nullifier as well.
And they still had BKB Black Hole.
Yeah. And we still really don't have an answer from Vici Gaming for that.
Radiant are scanning.
Nothing will stand in my way.
I think in this game, Vici just assumed they'd be able to like hold the high ground infinitely.
Yeah.
With the heroes that they had, and they weren't being too greedy because they've got the global presence of the Bat, Ember, and the Nature's Prophet to be able to set up for pickoffs. I think that was the reasoning behind it. Things just kind of went way too chaotic for them way too quickly. Especially that Roche engagement.
Yeah. Scotty is going to be up for Miracle, and in general, Team Liquid's just tanking up quite a bit now that we have the Crimson Guard up for the Sand King. Vici Gaming is so reliant on just being able to burst somebody down when they find the initiation from the Bat Rider.
If there's a team that's able to play Broodmother, it's Liquid.
Yeah, certainly. He's got a build that can get on top of the Sniper now with a Blink Dagger, Orchid, Nullifier. If he can't BKB and he can't Force Staff, he's pretty much food for the Brood.
And Yang was looking for him, but the instant blink out, GH pressing forward. He wants to be aggressive here. And look how far forward Kuroki is. Not concerned at all at this point. And I love how he's just kind of running at them. Completely unafraid. Probably especially after that last engagement at bottom.
Yeah.
Where he got Bat Rider ulted, gone on by the Nature's Prophet.
I like the fact that the gem investment, even though Vici Gaming has been losing this game for a bit, you have to make sure the vision is cleared out from Team Liquid. It's the only way that Sniper and Ember Spirit are going to be able to play this game is if they can juke the initiation from Team Liquid. If Liquid is just blind to where those 2 cores are.
Especially with no buyback.
Yeah.
And now it's a 14k lead for Liquid. As
Pushing out together, trying to get a ward kill here. They are going to be able to get the Hex out. The Sand King is going to get blown up almost immediately, but the backline is also caught as Mind Control comes forward with the Shivas. Black Hole immediately used, but the Force Staff actually saving Ori. It's going to be a complete whiff. They are going to back up on the side of Team Liquid. They've only lost 1 here. Somebody recover that gem, though. They want to make sure that Vici Gamer are not able to reclaim that. And sure enough, they aren't. That's also Vici Gaming using a buyback there. But Matama Man sees the opportunity to use his Blink Orchid as well as his extra bit. But the blackout of the Sprout making sure that Liquid can't really pursue. They want to be able to get some vision of these Liquid heroes.
And Miracle, I mean, he thought about going on to Yang there. And with the gem pickup and the kill on the Bat Rider, that's going to be an overall gold win for Liquid, who just continue to snowball.
Yeah. I mean, even when things go badly for Liquid at this point,
they're still going pretty good.
It's still like they whiffed the Black Hole, they still won the fight.
We're finally, most likely, I don't want to jinx it, going to get a game 3. We've had 2 main stage days that have all gone 2-0. We might finally get a game 3 if we're lucky.
Hurricane Pike. You can see Ori is very far behind, and he's forced to use that little amount of net worth that he has to invest into a very defensive item in this Hurricane Pike. just wants to be able to keep his distance from this Monkey King and Broodmother when possible. GH is able to pop the Sandstorm in time because of the loss of the gem. They couldn't find the initiation, and now with Matamba Man on the front lines, I don't think VG Gaming want to be able to take this. GH blinks forward pretty fearlessly. They are going to be able to get the lasso. Broodmother being focused down right now. They need to be able to get the Hex follow up, Impale as well. They need to be able to burst him, and they'll do so with the Finger of Death. But now the Wukong's command is out. That's where the Hurricane Pike from Ori comes activated. Is able to get out of that Wukong's command. And there's no further chase. They're just going to be able to take Kuro out of the equation pretty quickly. A nice two-man pickoff to the favor of VG Gaming, maybe more. Mind Control with the Spirit Vessel on him is unable to blink away right now. And Fade just keeping tabs on him. Doesn't have boots though, so he can't actually keep up.
And it's in fact the Enigma that has the gem, so not the worst case situation, but Liquid still have to be careful with this lead. The Bat Rider looking once again, Yang, trying to see what he can find. For Liquid, they have to get on top of Ori. You saw that Matamba Man got a little bit anxious and he went on a Yang, used his Orchid on him. They waited 2 seconds, they re-engaged into the fight onto Matamba Man. Everyone popped BKBs, so the Epicenter wasn't able to do anything. And with the amount of Force Staffs they have, getting out of the Monkey King ulti was no problem.
Yeah. Really sick by VG Gaming, the way they've been able to disengage. Great itemization in that regard. But they're still missing some damage. A lot comes out from this Ember Spirit. Unfortunately, the Sniper not able to do quite as much. A full Daedalus will certainly help, though, for the Ember Spirit if you can get it. As Paparazzi's actually neck and neck with the Matamba Man Broodmother and net worth.
And a DD rune at bottom. Fade's gonna see this.
He's gonna see that. He's also gonna see the bounty rune.
He's gonna grab that for himself as Kuro actually 4 steps forward. But
GH finds the Lion, Ghost Scepter, and thought about going for the TP out, but then he saw Mind Control, was super close by, and he dies either way.
yeah, absolutely no chance that DY gets out of there.
Now, if you're Liquid, you're just presumably controlling the game until Roche.
Yeah, I think so. You probably don't want to risk another one of those fights because Sniper, Bat Rider, Ember is still always scary. Like fighting into those 3 heroes, especially if Bat Rider gets a BKB at some point, it's not the easiest. You'd have to commit like a black hole just to be able to stop him from dragging somebody back.
Yeah.
There's not going to be a Yule's counterplay as a result. So I think Liquid is doing the right thing here. I mean, they're in a do or die situation right now. Just by being a little bit more careful, waiting a minute or two. They just watched VP series. Like VP had that game 2 wrapped up by but being impatient, they just lost it. Yeah. So Liquid's trying not to do the same. And conversely for Vici, the longer this game goes, the more comfortable everyone's going to get playing. They'll finally get more items. Paparazzi will pick up that big item in the Daedalus. They'll get levels. The BKBs will start to get lower on the side of Liquid. So I'd still say it's very favored towards Liquid.
Certainly with a 14,000 net worth lead, you would expect so, but Vici Gaming, they're a tough team to break, as you can see the win probability. Stretching up above 90% now.
I think the Roshan will matter the most, though.
Yeah.
This is the third one, too.
You cannot give this up, right?
Yeah, this is the third one as well. This will be the refresher. You can't stop Mind Control to begin with. I think giving it up twice is conceding defeat at this point.
But Vici Gaming are not showing any plans of defending here.
This is going to be dead even if they were to move right now. And the train's going to come in, but they'll realize their folly here in a second. Liquid aren't going for a smoke. They are, in fact, claiming this Aegis for themselves. It is taking a little bit, but...
Vici are going, there's no way we can go for it. I mean, it's a hard fight to take as well. You naturally want to be able to just play for high ground with an Ember Sniper cores. Like, you really don't want to go outside of your base too much at this point. But it does mean you're going to have to give up Aegis Cheese, Refresher Shard. Nice catch here. GH using his Yule Scepter to be able to stall out Yang's retreat. Follow up with a Burrow Strike here. Now, no Firefly to hide in the trees, so Mind Control will join GH. Very nicely done by the 4 position of Team Liquid, finding the pickoffs once again.
And Yang's got no buyback, right?
Yes. 90 seconds.
Yep, this is now, oh man, Yang. He was just trying to force them back, but Liquid, they're just going to push really quickly. Now, Vici, they've struggled with the 5-on-5 with the Batrider, who's their main form of disable. Now you've got to do it without him for another 70 seconds. There's an Aegis Cheese, a Refresher on Mind Control. I mean, every odd is stacked against you at this point.
Miracle leading the way, but it's not going to be him hitting that tier 3. They can leave that up to Matumba Man with the Aegis. He starts approaching, pops the Crimson Guard preemptively. Here's they jump in. GH is able to find Fade initially. Has the Sandstorm. Aeon is going to be able to protect him against any reprisal from Vici Gaming. That's going to be the tier 3 down. Matumba Man's going to pop his ultimate just for the extra damage here on the melee barracks. And Vici Gaming, they respond with a glyph. Now trying to control up Matumba Man as best as possible. Just disable him as many times.
Yeah, they're trying to buy time right now.
Batrider only needs 20 seconds.
And they might have done it here as...
Yeah, looking like it with that nice chain setup.
The Epicenter.
Now the Finger of Death coming up. The Epicenter on the side. They almost finish up these heroes. Now they do manage to take out the Broodmother. That is only going to be the first life. Meanwhile, Fade does die in the back lines. He does have a buyback. Matumba Man needs to be able to retreat out of here. 5 more seconds still. The Batrider is here.
They didn't lose Rax.
They did not.
They had to use the buyback on the Lion, but they didn't lose Rax. This top tier 2 almost falls. They got the Aegis out of it too, but look at the buyback situation. 5-0. And that's really what matters late game. You had to use both your BKBs to Liquid, managed to keep theirs up. Fade had a buyback as well as DY.
Yang will be able to get outside of the base to get some bounty runes, and that will be his BKB. His initiation will be a lot stronger now, as all these times he's tried to blink in and lasso somebody, too many times he's been Yuled immediately.
Yeah, I think at this point you just complete it up. You don't have buybacks on anybody. Saving for the timer I think is going to be a little bit rough, and Liquid trying to take advantage of this where they know there's no Aegis and they're going to run into GH here. Might just get jumped up.
You manage to get the lasso onto GH, pulling him back to his doom as the sniper picks him apart.
That's their gem. They've got it back. Mind Control trying to run in.
Mind Control's maybe a little bit too far forward as the Flame Break pushes them in even deeper. Miracle will just go ahead and pop that Wukong's command. Let's just play it safe and make sure Vici Gaming are not able to win a more major fight than that. Just a simple pick off of the Sand King, we can forgive that.
That would have been disastrous if they lost the Enigma there too.
Yeah.
Still, buyback situation in their favor. Liquid just need to calm down. They can force this game 3 that everybody wants to see.
Matumba Man saying if we can wait for my Lincolns, then I can hit high ground. We won't even have to worry so much about the lasso.
Yeah, it's just a little bit spooky right now for Liquid because they had the Aegis Cheese Refresher, Batrider dead, and they still didn't really feel comfortable all in committing for the high ground.
Oh, another form of great initiation though. DY with the Blink Dagger between Yang having his BKB and this Lion with the Blink. I mean, this is how you change the entire nature of these team fights.
Yeah, and you're starting to get vision control again as Matumba Man.
Pops it now and he spots Matumba Man. It would be a massive kill. He blinks forward, does see him. He's going to be able to lasso and he gets away before the balance strike can land. He gets him into low ground. This is a massive kill. Matumba Man falls. Vici Gaming have him dead for 90 seconds now. I don't know if they can push out and do anything with this timer. Maybe they can just keep farming. But they have to be careful because Liquid, they're not scared of taking a fight right now. Everyone on their side has a buyback except for Kuro.
And look at the timing on that as Yang just barely blink dodges. Since something was up as Paparazzi pushing forward Miracle in a really good position.
Here they are going to be able to get a Miracle. Wukong's command off, and it's a big one too, but Vici Gaming have so many force staffs, they're going to be able to get away. Even Yang, who was slowed down very slightly towards the end, was able to limp away.
And it looked like it was a really good position by Miracle. I mean, it was. It's just there's so many force staffs on the side of Vici that their ability to disengage off of him is quite quick. It's mind control. Already down here to deal with the Nature's Prophet, who almost has that Hex completed. And they now have the buybacks on their 2 major cores. They're high ground defenders. And even though you've got an 18K gold lead on Liquid, I mean, this is far from feeling like a done game.
Yeah, and then VG Gaming, look at this. They're actually going to start getting aggressive here with still another 25 seconds for the Broodmother. This is the perfect time to see if you can force a fight. The death timer is way too low for the Broodmother to want to buy back if there is an engagement, but they guess wrong. They smoke farther down. If they'd cut through mid, they would have found certainly one, maybe two pickoffs, maybe even an entire fight. They still have a chance, though. They're going to run to this back line. Kuro, he's going to be caught up first with the BKB. He goes straight for the Enigma. The epicenter comes out from GH. A fast response from him and Miracle. A nice hit.
They need to blow up Mind Control.
Mind Control's almost dead. They need to finish him off now, and they do so. He does have a buyback, though, if he wants to be able to blow it. GH with a Eul Scepter onto himself. Immediately gets hexed up by DY. VG Gaming, they win a full team fight here.
Paparazzi did have to use his buyback, though.
That is rough.
As
Fade.
Fade,
He's gonna spot him. Tried to cut down the trees, didn't actually get him in time. Miracle.
Oh, he barely missed on the tree and summon. If Miracle dies there at that point, that's when it becomes full-on disaster. But with the buyback on Paparazzi, not the worst position for Liquid to be in, but they know the ward is up here. DY, they catch
Miracle.
him.
What were you doing here? You surely had to have known about that ward that was placed by the Furion. He does manage to get off his BKB, turns around, Boundless Strike, tries to go for the TP white, but gets him with the lasso.
Oh, no.
VG Gaming, let's roll up that win probability because they are certainly turning this game around as you could see it beginning to dip down.
And you've got a Hex on the Nature's Prophet. Miracle was given a freebie there to get out.
Yes.
That was his one chance at life. And now with 80 seconds dead for him, the bounty runes are about to respawn. They're about to collect another like 1.2K. With this time down,
there is still so many fights that VG Gaming has to win.
Yeah.
In order to make this game go even.
But this is how it starts.
Team Liquid, it feels like they only need one, but this is how it starts. And every fight is getting a bit easier too, right?
You had a I think it was like 23K gold lead. Now it's 12.
You've got Daedalus, Scythe of Ice. These are items you didn't have last fight. The fight before that, you didn't have BKB or Blink Dagger.
The rune of regeneration.
But Liquid just need one very solid initiation, and I feel like that's what's happening, right? Is VG Gaming, they're the ones who are always finding the right opportunity for a fight.
Yeah, just a little bit cleaner, and this is the mobility of their lineup, is how this happens.
Fade, no boots for life. I'm gonna get mobility. Don't mind me. I'm gonna get Force Staff. I'm gonna get Blink Dagger. No boots though.
It's just easier to play their late game.
Yeah.
I think. Liquid have done such a good job of keeping this game in the position that it is, but as it goes on, I think just for Vici, you sit back. And Mind Control, since the sick holes he did have early on, just hasn't been able to get in position. He hasn't even been able to pop this refresher. They keep him way far back at all times.
It reminds me of the long range, yesterday series. I can't remember who, but we were talking about just a long range poke against an Enigma. The same thing, right? With this Ember Spirit and Sniper so far in the back lines, it's difficult for Mind Control to be able to get close enough to blink anywhere near them without taking any damage. With the double Daedalus and now having the Sleight of Fist charges, and it's a massive amount of burst damage Paparazzi can deal. Ori, he's also caught up. He's just right behind Matumba Man and the rest of the game when it comes to net worth.
What are the BKB timers now? Oh,
9
Brute's got,
seconds.
yeah.
5 for Miracle.
6
and
for the
Mind
Enigma.
Control, 6 seconds.
Okay.
I am mighty.
Double damage rune. This could mean a lot, but the smoke has already popped. Yang in a great position. GH blinks forward, trying to find anybody here, but he's got to be careful. That super long-range impale from the Lionies. He's gotten plenty of levels.
GH gonna get assassinated. Poke down a little bit his Aeon Disc now on cooldown, but at least for now, Liquid not able to use that DD rune. They really wanted to take that fight.
Yeah.
Miracle still hanging around the area. Yang, he does have the initiation. He's pinging like crazy. He sees GH thinking maybe this is free, and indeed
They've already blown his Aeon Disc, so if they can actually get on top of him, there's no way GH could survive. They're laying out the damage. Look at that big burst from Paparazzi. He's already dead. Immediately, the buyback goes out. Matumba Man, he couldn't find a jump because the Aeon Disc, which was freshly picked up on the Lion, saves him from the Broodmother.
And they get the gem. that he bought. So our 23, 22K gold lead is now chipped down to 7. Liquid, you've got to be a little bit panicked, but calm down. There's no Bat Rider ulti anymore. You're still fine.
Yes.
You've had so many chances to reset this game.
We've won like 4 different fights for VG Gaming and still like looking like an 80% win probability for Liquid. Liquid are going to come outside the pit though. VG Gaming, we're looking to be able to get inside that Roshan pit with GH finding the initiation. But
that's too much damage.
With the sleight of fist as well. This is looking like too much damage for Miracles. He's going to be taking up with the black hole on the right-hand side though. Finishing up the Lion. But Sniper does have the buyback though. He's going to blow it here. Paparazzi keeping his distance though. Laying out more and more damage. But Tummy with the life steal as well as the black hole locking down Yang. He's dead as well. More and more buybacks to Nullifier coming out. But Paparazzi had a remnant, but Mind Control knew where he went to. He's going to stay on top of the Simmer Spirit. Now
he doesn't have buyback.
Boundless Strike as well. He will fall, and he has no buyback. 2 minutes on the clock for him.
And they were looking for that one fight for the last 15 minutes or so. And like you said, you still favored Liquid's chances.
Finally, they put it together now, and Vici Gaming, they're going to have to fight up against Aegis, Cheese, Refresher Shard, and a 3 versus 5, as only Fade has the buyback here.
They were waiting so long for Mind Control to come through with the black hole.
Yeah.
That's what they were missing in these last engagements. They finally get it. It doesn't even matter who he gets it on at this point. With the BKB and his Lincolns, it's impossible for them to stop.
All right, this is going to take some very aggressive play and a lot of creative thinking here for Vici Gaming to make this 3-man smoke work for them somehow, but GH has already found the initiation instead of the other way around. They do have the Force Staffs to defend, but at this point, Liquid,
they're just going for the throne.
As long as they just don't dive the fountain, they just go for the throne. Vici Gaming, they've got to find a way to be able to lure Liquid in here. Glyph is going to go down, 15 seconds for the Lion. Yang, Wukong's command goes out, and look at that AoE.
And they got to do something now. Their base will fall quick.
Fast. GH just
the
gonna
epicenter?
go for the epicenter, make the initiation while the rest of his team goes for the throne.
He's just buying time.
Goes out as the throne's gonna fall here, and that's it. Team Liquid will take game 2. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to a game 3.
We finally get that game 3 that we were looking for. The best part about a best of 3, you lose the first game, you win the next 2. Every sin is erased. You're all good, you're all clear because you move on, and that's what matters. Liquid evening up this series. We finally get a game 3.
Team Liquid, I mean, you said it, Blitz. They did such a good job of making sure they got to the point where they had such a massive lead. It was like 98% win probability that it was such a big lead. They lost like 5 fights in a row, and it was still like 80% to their favor.
They lost like 3 gems.
Yeah.
6 or 7 engagements. All of these mini pickoffs, they lost the tower. They gave up 8 bounty runes in a row or something, and they still were favored to win. They just needed that one engagement from Mind Control. He held steadfast. He eventually found it onto the sniper in the back line. Well played by Liquid, because I feel like that's an easy game to snowball into a loss from there.
Yeah. And Vici Gaming certainly showing that they're no slouches either. They took that first game. They almost made the comeback, it felt like, in game 2. And let's not forget, this was off the back of a last pick Broodmother. Question for the panel is, can Liquid do this again without that kind of surprise?
Thank you, Captain Blitz. My boys. The great question, can they do it without the surprise Brood? From what I saw in that game, I think they can. I mean, that was the Team Liquid that we've been waiting to see in this tournament.
Yep. They looked, it just was a completely different game because they could take team fights.
Yeah.
Throughout the whole game, they had a great team fight lineup. They could look to take these fights constantly. Vici, they were a bit on the back foot of just team fight from the way that they drafted. They were looking for pickoffs all the time. Liquid played just together. That's what I saw from them this time. The last game, they looked so separated. They looked like they were not on the same page at all. This one was Liquid actually playing like a team.
Gods, we talked a lot in the panel about how we wanted Mind Control to have a more active hero, a hero that isn't doomed, focuses on one target, can focus on many. I think we saw that this game.
His Enigma, yeah. It was a tough game for him because of some of the heroes he was playing against. He was always going to be the Bat Riders. Like, if Bat Rider saw him, he's jumping that Enigma. Sniper, hard target to get to, but it kind of just felt like it was inevitable that eventually that black hole will come. As much as Vici Gaming clawed their way back into the game, finds him in that one black hole at the end with the refresher shot, and game's won.
Now we'll do it. I mean, let's talk about how Vici got back into that game, though. I mean, that was not looking too hot for him. Liquid kind of dominated in that early one. Fogged.
Yeah.
How'd it happen?
Well, I mean, they stole the one thing that I was looking when I saw the drive. I mean, we're going to see RLTK here. This is pretty cool. Oh, we didn't get to see it. All right. Well, he got really excited when they picked the Brood. But the one thing they do have, looking at their lineup, is they have amazing high ground defense. They have Bat Rider for grabbing people and pulling them into the base. Ember Spirit, one of the better high ground defense. Sniper, probably the best. And that's kind of what ended up happening. Liquid hit a bit of a brick wall, and they were moving forward a little bit separately. That was the only thing I started to see from them. They started playing a little bit separate toward the end there. Probably because they have, you have a 17, you have a pretty good feeling of your hold in the game, but you still have to watch out when you're playing versus such good high ground.
Sure. Was there a reason why we saw Team Liquid get so crazy in this early game? I mean, Vici Gaming, they look like they really had it, but there's this point where it turned around. What's the power spike here in this series?
Well, for this one, I mean, they prioritized a lot on this Blink Dagger for the Sanking, and then they snuck a Roche in this game.
That was it, huh?
Yeah, I mean,
Makes a lot of sense.
That one was big for me. I saw them get the Roche, and then Vici kind of went backwards and farmed for quite a while it was happening. So
I think the important thing was also like Ember was having a good game, but Sniper couldn't really keep up in farm.
Yeah.
And the hard part of this game for Sniper is he needed to have both offensive and defensive items. So he kind of had to pick one or the other. So he gets his Hurricane Pike pretty late in the game. And most of these fights, when Liquid side take off, the Sniper's getting jumped on and just can't escape them.
Yeah.
So the fact he needs both those defensive and offensive items meant that it took a long time for Vici to come online.
Right. We were able to see them really hold this high ground, as you guys can see, even without their full strength. And then this very nice pickoff here, where it seems like they really could turn it around. But Miracle, man, it just, didn't do what they were hoping for a big chunk of that game until, he did.
Yeah, I don't think Miracle had his best game on Monkey King. He got caught out a few times. Like right after that fight we just previously saw, he gets picked off at top in the trees. But this is the big team fight. Enigma finally gets the black hole on the Sniper, and then he finds the next. The second black hole didn't matter too much, but the big thing is killing the Sniper, and Vici Gaming are just already too fallen apart.
Sure. If they could have backed out from that without that second black hole, only losing Sniper, and they might have been able to contest that Roche, maybe would have had a different game, but him being able to get that shard off, or that refresh off, really did make a difference. So, we've done it! This is our first game three. I am so excited here on the main stage as we check out this stats from the last game. Anything stand out to you, boys? Let's see here.
I mean, I just double Daedalus on Ember. It's been a long time since we really do get to see the Battle Fury Ember.
Sad we didn't get the Rapier to come out.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was close. He had it queued up, right?
Then he pulled back and didn't end up buying it. So
it's a shame. 4 Aegises, of course, going to Team Liquid in that one.
I think that's probably that's the next thing I was going to address, is just they got such overwhelming map control after they got that first Roche that it just allowed them, they controlled the map, and then they got second Roche. They got all the Roches, and when you're playing with a lineup with such overwhelming team fight already, and then you throw Refresher Shards and Aegises and Cheese, it really just makes it so much easier for you to take these fights into. And it's also like, you're playing versus Bat Rider. You get your catch, but then Lasso's on cooldown, and maybe the catch was on an Aegis in some of those situations. So yeah, the map control for Liquid definitely made it a lot easier for them to play.
Yeah, pretty much. MVP is up, ladies and gents, and of course, we're going to be going with that mind control for that big Refresher Shard, and leading to the big double ult. Pretty good, huh?
And the team fight participation, he was there in a lot of these fights, which is, good sign for an Enigma, because normally it's like, okay, you've got this big long cooldown, you only fight with Black Hole, but it means, yeah, his team were playing around that cooldown well, and also he's able to, get involved even when he didn't have it. And Fog, you liked his item build with like the Shivas too.
I was about to say the Shivas was an interesting pickup, because it's something you're probably like, wait, why would he go for that? But it's for the armor in specific, because catching the Sniper, like Parker was saying, it can be hard to get into that back line, and sometimes you're like, oh, they can't cancel my Black Hole, but sometimes you just die to just auto attack. So this Shivas gives him a lot more armor, a lot more survivability to actually get his hole off.
That was a very interesting item build. As you said, it was literally every single item was to make sure that it got that Black Hole off. The BKB, the Lincolns, the Shiva, 3 modes of getting around the map. That was pretty nuts. But anyway, it looks like it paid off. Team Liquid's alive. They're still here for a game 3. And this is when it really happens. This is the game that both these teams are going to be bringing out the crazy stuff. Right? I mean, this is...
The Drow Ranger.
The Drow Ranger. The most insane pick you've ever seen, the Drow Ranger. Now, come on. Really? We're going to risk a Drow on this one, the elimination game 3.
Risk a Drow? Drow's a risky pick? I thought Drow was
I think it is. I think as soon as you first pick that Drow, everyone knows what you're going to do.
Not first pick. Yeah. Probably not first pick. But
okay.
We could see some interesting heroes start to fall through, too, because I think the bans for this this series for me have been one of the most peculiar, just the change-ups, right? We're seeing like Leshrac change priority, Doom, and Razor even too, right? We've just seen a lot of shifts from, we do tend to see that of very like team-specific bans, but this one, I could see some of these heroes just slipping through now this time. You could just be like, hey, let's just let them all. Let's let a couple more through and see what happens.
Sure. Both these teams have taken that risk before, right? They've let these really big heroes slip through. God, you don't seem to be buying it. I'm watching your face right now. You're not feeling it. You're not buying letting these big boys get through.
It's like Game 3 elimination. You don't want to go too crazy with your draft. I think Vici Gaming especially is a team that normally sticks to their formula. RTK is a drafter. I mean, even when you go back to when he was a player, is always a guy who normally built a formula, had a certain hero pool they liked to play, and would stick to it. So I think it's far less likely with Vici Gaming that we see anything crazy.
Sure.
Liquid, you never really know with some of their players. But, Game 3, elimination, teams are going to be playing very safe.
Absolutely. How do you feel about how'd that sniper go? We hyped it up in Game 1, didn't pick it. Game 2, they did pick it, still didn't win. You think the sniper did a good enough job?
It got made awkward, right? The Brood pick, because then he can't lane mid. He has to play off-lane sniper, right? So he's playing like a different kind of duty in the game. So it just felt a little strange, because you're not this like level 6 super early on sniper. You're playing side lane. So it changes the whole dynamic of the hero in the early game.
And yeah, we talked about how his farm was a little bit behind where some of the other cores, and I think a big part of that is being in the side lane.
Okay, there we go. And as you can see, clean pores on those players. They're taking care of each other. Not a speck of dirt on that player's arm. These guys, they wash, they clean, they moisturize. You can tell.
It's important.
It is. For some. I don't moisturize.
What? Moisturizing is definitely important.
For what?
But you get makeup on. You definitely should be moisturized.
Well, the makeup artist puts moisture on me, but that's the only time moisture ever touched my
Moisture
face.
going on is not moisturizing.
What? Listen,
Splashing water on your face does not count as moisturizing. Sucks. And I know
okay, for real, I'm not being sarcastic. What do you mean? Because it adds moisture. That's the whole point. Okay. We'll get into it
educate
later.
you, yeah, during the next game.
I could definitely use some beauty tips from you two, gentlemen. But we'll get to that later as we start to see the players now starting to enter the lobby and get this going. We were talking a little bit about forced to be awkward there, Fonged. I feel like I do that a lot to you. Force you to be awkward. What's the most awkward you've been in an esports event?
I think I'm just always a little awkward, dude.
No.
I'm just a Dota nerd.
That's not true.
You're surrounded by other Dota nerds. Like,
Yeah,
being nerdy about Dota, you're in good company.
it's true. What if you put me in the most awkward? I don't know. Definitely somewhere at Dream League, honestly. It always happens.
I think the most awkward I've ever been in any Dota event was during the All-Star match, where one of the people that I asked, pick what hero you'd like, and he said Dendi, and then Eternal Envy came. And then I
remember that.
I brutally said, I don't know why I said it, but I was like, not you, no one wants you, and I waved them away, and Envy's face, it was not good.
I watched that on YouTube, fails of Dota or something. I was one of
Yeah.
them. It was you and
Yikes,
a lot of you.
Reno.
A lot of you, actually.
Well, not me, just I'm at a lot of events. There's no correlation between awkward moments and me, I can assure you. God,
Not buying that, I'll tell you that.
what are you talking about, bro? Oh, any big mistakes at an event that you've regretted? What sticks in your head?
I think the most awkward was the first TI I went to. Bruno and I were sitting on the panel, and this was, the first time they'd done TI themselves, Valve, because TI1 was done in Germany. And for some reason, they had this idea that during a pause in the middle of a game, like 10 minutes into a game, they wanted to cut back to the panel. So the panelists, James and Nebula, the other two panelists, had just wandered off, get some food, watch the games backstage, and me and Bruno sit in the panel, and suddenly we're live, middle of, I don't remember who's playing, and we're just on camera, we look at each other like, what the hell? We have our headsets, like, production's like, put your headsets on, talk, and Bruno and I just looked at like, what do we say? What do we do? This is my first big Dota event in my life.
Oh, God. Cringe.
And Bruno tries to give me a high five, and I don't notice. It was...
All right, I will share one more since it looks like the players are taking their time. The first time I met one of the owners, I believe CEO of Valve, Eric Johnson. He's a very serious guy. He's a very good man, strong man. Came over, extended his hand, and he said to me, pleasure to meet you. I've heard a lot about you. And I went over, I grabbed it, and I went like this, and I went, hey, Mr. Johnson. Looked me in the eyes, and he said that was awkward, and he walked away. And he wouldn't talk to me for the rest of the event. It was one of the most horrifying things that has ever happened to me.
I actually remember mine. I'm not going to say it, though. So.
Don't say. If you're watching, though, buddy, please. We can be homies. Just let me know. Yikes. Anyway, let's take it back to Dota so we can all be comfortable again. Now that we've cleansed that cringe away and talk about this elimination series. Back here at the Major, we have got Team Liquid looking like they are getting pretty serious here, boys. A lot of smiles in the first couple of drafts. No longer. This is brutal time. How do you think their new boys doing, by the way? Mr. Heen no longer with the squad, I believe.
Yeah, our man seems to be. I mean, it's different, right? It's a different. He just brings some different ideas. They're just still finding. It still seems like they're kind of finding their footing because, like they were talking about, they haven't gotten to play with their whole roster at every single tournament. It's been a tough year. Like that's just what it is.
Yeah, it is a very intense moment here. But, I don't know. VG seemed kind of confident. I don't think you have too much to be sad about with that last draft. That one didn't really hurt, in my opinion, Gods.
Yeah, you can sometimes chalk it up a little bit to the 10th pick Brood. I think the fear for Vici is that they are still a somewhat young team. They've got a lot of young, inexperienced players on their roster, so you have to be kind of, tread carefully if you're Coach RTK. Don't put too much pressure on them. Focus on just being in the right mindset, going into Game 3. Vici Gaming, to me, has looked like the slightly stronger team, at least maybe 55-45. I'd give them an edge going in Game 3, but they need to get a solid draft and not let the nerves get to them.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing that I noticed was like in this one, the change between Fade and DY a little bit.
Yeah.
Because Fade was playing for Nature's Prophet, but he didn't get off to that like overwhelming control that he did in the game yesterday.
Sure.
So this time we saw them, they were kind of splitting farm. DY had an Aether Lens, he had a Ghost Scepter, so they didn't have your traditional 4 and 5 in this game. So I think maybe that's what I would see them go back to a little bit more, just have that straight up staple.
Sure, I think they got a lot of their comfort picks in that first series, and that worked extremely well. I'm sure Liquid still is thinking about that, but I'm wondering if they're going to be impacted really at all in Game 2 based on their picks against Vici Gaming, or if they're really going to focus on stopping those Game 1 picks, those big disruptors, those big Shadow Shamans.
Yeah, we'll have to see how they start the draft, because I imagine Liquid will somewhat be like, okay, we won with the 10th pick Brood. We can't expect that in Game 3. You get one of those normally in a best of 3. They had one against EG. They've had one here against Vici. That Brood, if they're going to pull it out, needs to come earlier, and I don't think you can really pick this hero too early in the draft. So we're probably not seeing another Brood game.
I wouldn't say about that. That's the most, as a techies player, that's the most unexpected thing to do, is
Pick it
exactly
twice.
the same thing that you did last time.
But I think that hero is just like Parker was saying. You have to last pick it. There's just too many heroes that can just absolutely ruin it. Ember is an okay one in the laning phase because you saw like Paparazzi did the kill, but it's not one of those that you just dominate the matchup. There's heroes that just dominate it, like Kunkka in particular.
Sure, absolutely. Kunkka, I miss that hero, man. It'd be good to see him again.
He's got a nerf, so he's a little bit different, but I mean that matchup is still painful.
Absolutely. The team's taking their sweet time. Of course, this is all on the line. I will remind you one more time, elimination series at the Major. Liquid need to win this game to ensure that they are going to the International. Granted, they're probably going to go anyway. I'm not going to overhype you people, but I will say it would help them out a lot. Whereas Vici Gaming already secured ROTK, looking for those big notes right here.
With Liquid, it's always something to be said. You talk about their rough year. It's like this is the 4th major of 5 of the year. We're almost approaching TI. You want to go into TI with at least some confidence that you've had a few good tournaments throughout the year. I mean, it hasn't been all a failure for Liquid. They did win, I think, one of the smaller lands in Moscow at one point, one of the non-DPC events, but you want more than just that. You want to prove yourselves against the best, the Vici Gamings, the VPs, the EGs, and get, a top 2, top 3 finish at either here or at the next major.
Yeah, in my opinion, I'm not sure there is someone that is better than Vici Gaming. Maybe Team Secret, but having somebody like that first series of the day, LGD was so dominant, these guys absolutely destroyed them. It was ridiculous. So Team Liquid, indeed, if they can pull a win out from this one, do know that they can take down some of the biggest dogs in Dota. So, boys, what more is there to say before we get into this draft?
I'm just wondering, like what we're gonna see with Drow. That's really what it comes down to.
Drow. I'm trying to keep this conversation interesting.
I know.
No one's here about
But it's
Drow.
just like the Drow Deuce. I think there's still the potential, especially when it's an elimination in your best of 3. There's the potential for the Drow Deuce. There's a higher potential for the Mag PAs to come out as well.
Back to basics, essentially.
Yeah,
It's
back
like,
to basics. Give yourself these like a little bit easier to play like team fights. Sure, it's like these teams don't really need it because they are so dominant. We saw Vici even when they had like not that great a team fight. They were able to get these pickoffs constantly in the last game, but I think just being able to take those team fights, even having like the one that can rally you together, can really change it.
Oh, here we go.
We're
I'm
all
feeling it.
hype. Look at this.
Oh, yeah. Team Liquid starting to get that fire in the booth. That's what I'm looking. Oh, audience members, how are we doing there? Yes, you're on the screen, Mr. Beautiful Beard Man. Let us see your face. Oh, that's what I'm after. And you there, sir. Oh, don't look at the screen. Don't tell your friend he's on the screen. He doesn't realize it yet. Oh, he does know, but he's not smiling. He's a cool guy. I can understand that. Something about Europe. They want to look cool. Not me. I'd be freaking out. But anyway, gentlemen.
That's always.
Never.
Never.
I'm a calm host, I believe, personally. Do we still have heroes that are real cheese? I'm talking Huskar Dazzles. I'm talking, you know, hello, young man. Earplugs in. I don't blame you. Many people do that. Don't I saw you trying to dab there, young man. You stay. Don't you do it. All right. Oh, my goodness gracious. Fainted from the touch. The reverse Sleeping Beauty. Thank you very much, everybody in the crowd, for coming out here today. But, yeah, any chance we could see the Mega Cheese? Huskar Dazzle kind of stuff, you know?
Unlikely. I think that these teams are... I don't think we'll get to see that twice in a series. Like, they just did the Brood. I don't think it's very likely. I mean, it all depends on who's last pick as well. But I don't think that's not a Vici thing. They're not going to... I mean, even though I say that, and they actually have brooded at the last major as a last pick, so...
Absolutely.
Yeah, the possibility's there, and it's going to be the back of the mind of some players, but you're also like game 3 elimination. Do you really want to, go out with such a crazy, risky strategy? You're not going to feel good if you completely fumble up your draft.
Yeah. So let's see. The biggest ones that we have to look out from the meta. Morphling didn't really make an appearance in this one.
He's getting banned. He got banned both games, right?
Yeah.
The hero they gave them last game, they may want to remove is the Sand King. I think that was banned game 1. It slipped through game 2. It's just such a reliable stun initiator.
And they showed that they can actually switch it up a little bit, right? It was GH farming in this game. GH was the one playing in the bottom lane as a Sand King, and Mind Control was the one jungling as the Enigma, so they did change the dynamic a little bit of the way they wanted to play it. Oh yeah, Sand King sounds good. Just like this team fighter that's also strong in lane.
I mean, Sand King's always good. Everybody's picking Sand King. Almost every game. It's ban, it's pick. What makes it so... I mean, it's just a team fight and a stun.
Team fight, that's good in lane. Yeah, he pushes out lane. Sandstorm got buffed significantly as well. Epicenter is still a little bit underwhelming sometimes overall, but the nature of the hero is just still... Yeah, you're an instant stun with long-distance initiation and high magic damage.
All right, well, we've heard some news that there's a little bit of some connectivity issues, but we'll be getting into this game as soon as possible. Don't you worry for this big moment here. Of course, we're just kind of keep the hype up. That's it. It's just the game 3. We're actually doing it on purpose. The longer we can keep you guys excited, the better. Hello there. Nice crowd. That's very nice. Now, you don't have to wave guy in the blue shirt. Don't worry about it. We're not excited about it. It's fine. Everyone else waved but that man in the blue shirt. It's all good. He literally didn't. Okay, sold me out. Thank you, man. I will see you later. Hey, we got a game 3 going on. Get off your phone.
She's doing
The
lipstick.
pressure's on now.
The pressure's on. Lipstick did not go on before the camera got to me. Oh, no. Oh, no. All right. So, gents, let's tell some more esports stories. What do you got for me?
When I first met you. That was also at that one that I think you went to get dinner with Maud.
That is correct. ESL New York.
ESL New York, what, 2014, 13, 14?
That's correct.
One of those.
What was that experience like?
Well, we lost miserably. I only had 3 of my teammates there.
Oh, right. You were a player.
Yeah, I was a player. And we were playing against newly formed Team Secret with the dominant Team Secret of Kuroki, Puppy, Fly, that whole crew. And that was a tough one.
North American Rejects?
Yeah, after we had booted half our players and were scraping to get anybody. Was Boba playing with us at that? I think Boba might have played with us.
I think Moo was playing with you as well.
Moo?
Wait.
I never played with Moo.
Oh, that's right. He was on that Hearthstone streamer guy's game. Our team.
Later on, he went to Archon, yeah.
Right. Oh, hey, PDA over here. No, oh, wow, that's too much.
Not Disney friendly. Come
Listen,
on,
I
kids.
know we're in France, but put that French kissing away here, you animals. Goodness. Anyway, I remember the first time I met Gods. I was actually hired for the summit as a driver.
Before you were qualified to host.
That is correct.
Do content.
How's it feel now, you idiot? You hired me to drive, and now I'm hosting.
How the power dynamic has changed.
That was a good one. They hired me as a driver. I begged them to let me make any kind of content, and God's give me a chance. Hello, OG. Still in there. Oh, and looking pretty good there, yeah? You think they're going to make it? He does. They're still in, right?
They'll make it till tomorrow, win or lose. Yep.
Come on, guys. So, yeah, I think let's talk about some other teams since we're waiting for these guys to get in there. We've made it,
we're not
ladies
waiting.
and gentlemen.
Ooh.
The time has come. We have a draft. Welcome.
That switch up. All right, you play against this. The Enigma was annoying. Change something up. That means another hero is probably going to get left out into the pool here.
Absolutely. Man, they think the pro players are good. Talking about good panelists. That was a nice fill, boy. We did a great job. Shout out to us.
We got
We're
embarrassing
filling?
stories.
I didn't realize that's what we're doing.
Absolutely.
I thought that was intended.
That was absolutely intended. Every time the camera was off me, I was screaming at the producers, hold the players.
They ban both. They take out the Sand King and the Enigma. So, yeah, Hero's going to go through.
It's like they beat the Doom. They also have first pick, so I think Vici Gaming really do rate that Doom very highly. It's one of Yang's best heroes, so...
Now it's like, do you ban Doom? Then we maybe take the NP. Maybe they switch it up a little bit too. Maybe they... Because then also Razor's going to be left in the pool as well now, which has been banned every single time in this series so far.
I'm a little spooked, boys. I still see Shaman available. I still see that Disruptor available. Team Liquid really focusing on these meta picks. I mean, Leshrac, of course, has been banned often, but we have not seen it yet in the hands of anybody this series.
The other hero that Vici perhaps surprisingly banned in the second game was the Lone Druid. Matu obviously very well known for it, but it's not really considered a first stage pick, but his best hero is something that Liquid could always pull out.
Do they Shaman or NP? It's the NP.
MP. I think that's a great pick for just Vici Gaming in general because not only is he the best support one of them in the game, but having two players that are very good. Flex pick for them for Yang and for Fade, but there we go.
You also don't give it to Liquid too, right? It's
Sure.
like just taking NP. You don't want to give that to MC or to Kuro.
GH Earthshaker, boys. Need I say anything else? Single-handedly, in some cases, winning them games, and now we're going to see that as well. Seems like, go ahead.
Similar team fight and control as the last game we just saw.
Yep, and they seem to do very well with that. Jakiro seems to just be an insta-lock pick against a Nature's Prophet now. Is that it? You see an MP, you pick a Jakiro, and things turn out okay, Gons?
Definitely, to some extent, I think it's because of the Nature's Prophet. I also just feels like the go-to 5 position in some ways for Liquid. I think often 5 position heroes is about what your team is most comfortable on, what you feel fits your style.
It does provide you like quite a lot, right? It helps you in the lane a lot. It gives you team fight. It gives you control, and it gives you some like objective taking as well. Liquid Fire, not only just like for towers, but also for Roche. Like it all does add up.
Yep. So we're seeing the next pick being thought about here. Again, only with these teams we've really seen this big focus on support, on roamers. Every other team is picking out their carries in this first couple of picks here.
Can you Rubik early?
No. The olden days of second pick counter Rubik. I mean, Jakiro is pretty hard countered by Rubik, right? I mean, he's really good at his skills, but no, they'll go with the line.
With their guns. Same thing as they did last time. All right.
Wow, didn't they lose that game? That's probably not a good idea.
Well, the Enigma Shaker, Sand King are gone. So 2 of the heroes the two opening picks from Liquid are gone.
Yes, big changes without that Enigma coming through.
Still choosing to take out that Lone Druid.
Understandable. And the Brewmaster actually getting knocked out as well.
With the Lone Druid ban makes a lot of sense to me because they're just so unfamiliar with versing it. Most of the teams in their region in China are not Lone Druid teams.
Yeah.
So you go to these big international events and you haven't got to play against Lone Druid much. You're just not going to be in your comfort zone when you're versing Matu and Team Liquid.
I think after the display of the first game, I think banning Brewmaster versus Yang is going to become a bigger priority for most teams that play versus Vici. He's proven so many times how good he is on that hero.
All right, guys, I got something for you to talk about. It was a surprise pick in one of Vici Gaming's games, Shadow Fiend. Any chance we could be seeing a Shadow Fiend surprise pick coming out for Vici in this series?
They did end up losing that one, though.
They did. But it was a surprise that they lost.
It's not. Yeah, it's one of these heroes where it comes out to like a Brood where it's like, oh, surprise, this hero just came out. What do you do? It's like, okay, they just picked this SF. You know what it's going to do. It's not something you have to counter directly in game or you lose. It's just like kind of a situational hero that can be good. But to me, there's typically better mids that can do SF's job a little bit better. Like, I'd rather see like the frontline Necrophos, which just sits there, is unkillable, has the heals, because a lot of these SFs are going for the Greaves type build anyways.
Viper is going to be banned out. Another Matumba ban, respect ban. We see from Vici Gaming, don't want to deal with that, even though they seem to handle that pretty well in game 1.
I think you want, for Vici, I don't know if you want to pick it for here, but I think you want some type of just BKB building core. Just someone that gets a BKB early on, because right now you look at Liquid and Shaker Jakiro are completely countered by this. Liquid are actually just going to third take the Dusa.
They did that. They banned Sniper and picked it instantly. They were very quick with that duo.
Uh-oh, we're starting to see some smiles coming out from Liquid. Now, we do see that Medusa picked up first, and I have to remind you guys, Drow Ranger, still available.
Yep.
Yeah.
So the three you look at, right? AM, Drow, Morphling probably, unless they want to go for something like Mag PA, but
10 seconds remaining.
Now, last time we
think
did
so.
see that Medusa get picked up, there was a
5 seconds remaining.
AM ban coming from that team to make sure that AM couldn't counter it. Not this time, so it is an option.
as a
Oh,
Magnus.
Magnus.
I have a feeling it could be
Oh,
the
no.
Mag PA or the Mag AM.
Mag Troll even is an option as well that we used to see a lot of times. So
Don't like it as much, though.
yeah.
The AM Deuce is an interesting one because it's not like a straight up AM counters Deuce these days anymore. With the Mystic Snake talent, you're able to burn the AM's mana pool. We're also seeing the Deuce itemization shift such that you just don't go for all these super heavy
10 seconds
stat
remaining.
items that boost up your mana pool. So you can just kind of hold your ground and right click
5
the AM.
seconds remaining.
So I'm really interested in who you guys think is going to be this Magnus combo. You said you instantly dismissed the Troll Warlord.
Yeah, I think AM or PA they just suit so much better.
I see. PA, right pick against these kind of lineups, though? I mean, they have a pretty good amount of magical damage to hit her with.
But
like-
you're BKB player.
Yeah, I like the
That's the big
PA
thing.
a lot because of the BKB timing. You
I see.
Shaker and Jakiro do nothing against the BKB PA. You still need a mid that can be like a secondary damage dealer to help deal with the Medusa, but it gives you a very open pool to draft from for your final pick.
Well, they do have time to pick something here in, guessing that one of those two are going to be coming out.